Shalom. Kahalayam La Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers doing this work in truth and sincerity. Shalom. This is the brother Patop back again through the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying. This is going to be a lesson concerned on why the Lord didn't want the holy seed, which is Israelites, mixing and mingling with the heathen. And I'm gonna make it very clear, paint a clear picture for you so you can see. And Lord willing is edifying as why the Lord did not want us mixing with the heathens. Okay, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 24, verse 10. It says, and the son of an Israelitish woman whose father was an Egyptian. So his father, basically an Israelite woman, got with a Hamite, and they brought forth a Hamite seed. He was a so-called Egyptian's child. He was a Hamite. It says, I'm gonna read it again. Leviticus 24:10. It says, and the son of an Israelitish woman whose father was an Egyptian, he was a heathen, went on among the children of Israel, and this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of Yahweh and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shalomite, the daughter of Debri, and of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in word that the mind of Yahweh might be shewed them. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that hath cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and all the congregation stone him. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, whosoever curseth his power shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemeth the name of Yahweh, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemeth the name of Yahweh, shall be put to death. And he that killeth any man shall be put to death. And he that killeth a beast shall make it good, beast for beast. Okay, so the point is, this young this young heathen's child blasphemed the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, because these heathens, they really don't respect. They don't really respect our power, because they're heathens, man. You can't expect the heathen to honor the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, because it's just not in them to do it, man. So this is a clear example as why we as Israelites must not mingle with the heathens. Now let me read something real quick. I'm just trying to find the right precept. Nah, that's not the right one. It's the book of Ezra. Yeah, let's go to the book of Ezra, because you always had a lot of mixing and mingling going on, but it does not bring forth nothing but wickedness. The holy seed is being mixed with the heathens, man. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, and now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to our abominations, even of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites and the Moabites, the Egyptians and the Amorites. for they have taken of Salakia. He says, for they have taken of their daughters for themselves. Right? That means there was marrying these women. There was having kids with them. It says, for they have taken their daughters for themselves and for their son, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with those people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. Right? So that's what our people always did. They was always mixing and mingling with the heathens. They would gather wives, of the heathens, which, you can have concubines, concubine, which is like, but they was making those women their wives, man. They could only be your concubines. You're only supposed to have concubines of the heathens, or female servants. But they are not to be on a certain level, because when they on a certain level, there's a certain level of influence. And that's what King Solomon, he claved, the scripture says he clave unto these in love, man. You're not supposed to love on them, man. Especially not your concubines, man. Because they'll lead your heart away. They'll have you worshiping other gods and profaning the law, statute, commandments, man. Following their gods. That's what happened. It's what a lot of mixing and mingling goes on. The holy seed, which is Israelites. Israelites taking these heathenistic women. They'll get the Moabite women, which these heathens are heavy into worshiping other gods. Because the scripture says the God of the nations are idols, man. So when Israel join themselves unto them, they ultimately end up falling victim to worshiping their gods. This is Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. It says, and when I heard this, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard and sat down astonished. So Ezra was real upset when he see that the people was doing this, man. Because he knew the end result. He knew that what it was going to lead unto. Verse 4, it says, then were assembled unto me everyone that trembled at the words of the God of Israel, because of the transgression of those that had been carried away. And I sat astonished unto the evening sacrifice. And at the evening sacrifice I arose from my heaviness, and having rent my garment and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread my hands up to Yahweh my power, and said, O my power, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my power. For our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up unto the heavens. Now, around this time period, if I'm not mistaken, this is around the time of the Persians and the Medes, when we was under the captivity of the Persians and the Medes. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is around that time. Yeah. Verse Ezra 8:1, it says, there are now the chief of their fathers, and there is the genealogy of them that went up with me from Babylon into the reign of Artaxerxes the king. So Artaxerxes was he was a Persian. See, look, Darius the king. It says, then Darius the king made a decree and search made. Yeah, so this was around the time of the Persians and the Medes. Okay, this is the book of Ezra chapter 9. Just wanted to fact check that real quick. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Ezra chapter 9. Well, wait, which verse was I at? I believe I was at verse 7. Yeah, it says, since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities our kings and our priests, been delivered unto the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day. Why? Because our people was mixing with the heathen. They probably seen, you know how Jake is. You probably see a nice Moabite woman. You see her, you take her to, you take her to yourself, pop her, fall in love with her, end up She bringing those false gods into your house, your home, and you being all in love, blinded. You, your heart is not perfect with the Lord. And our people was already rebellious, man. They was already rebellious as hell. So it didn't take too much of nothing for them to fall into that trap, because that's what it was. Let me see. Because these nations are a snare and a trap to Jacob. That's why we ought not to mix and mingle with them. Let's get this real quick. Joshua 23:13 says, For know for a certainty that Yahweh your power will no more drive out any of those nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which Yahweh your power had given you. So these nations are a snare. They are a trap to you. That's why the Lord left them there. Let's see, what is a trap? A contrivance for catching unawares. See, okay, it says the sense of deceitful practice, device of contrivance to betray one. And who was our people betraying? They was betraying the Lord. So with the heathens came what? Deceitful practices. Okay, trap. A device in which something usually... No, that's not the right, wrong context. It says something often something deceptively attractive that catches you off guard. It's like it catches you unaware. So that's what these idols was doing. Our people would join unto the heathens, and they'll end up worshiping their idols, worshiping their gods. All because what? They want to please their wife. They want to please their woman. They're not. These nations are a trap to us. That's why we ought not to be mixed and mingle with them. Look what happened in America. Babylon the Great, the same damn thing. Like I always say, I had made a point, and it's a factual point, because I had said some years ago that segregation was a good thing, and I'm pretty sure other brothers have said it too, but segregation was a good thing. We looked at it as it was a bad thing because we wasn't so-called being accepted or being joined unto the heathens, which that was a beautiful thing. Now that we look back upon it, we harp on it, our eyes are open. We was actually better segregated, man. We was better segregated. But that wasn't that's not according to the agenda of the elites. They want to make all people one people. That's that same Edomite spirit. The same Tower of Babel. All should be one people. Around the time of the Greeks, all should be one people. That's that same Edomite doctrine, that Edomite poison, heathenistic poison that they have been trying to push on our people. And it has worked throughout the history, But, hey, the Lord is causing a certain number of men to not be a part of that, man. The elect. They're not with mixing and mingling with the heathens, man. We can have the women, heathen women's, as concubines, man. That's about it. Housemaids, they cook, they clean. You know what I'm saying? You can, pop them. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like having them on the same level as an Israelite woman, no, because there's gonna be levels to it. You know what I'm saying? The Israelite women are going to be our wives. These heathens are going to be our concubines, bed witches, if you so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be our female servants. They're going to cook. They're going to clean. They're going to, do things like that. Because that's the natural order of things. That's how the things was in those days. But certain Israelites kept going overboard with it, making these heathens their wives, and then they end up what? Sinning, going off. So let's go to real quick. I'm gonna remember Ezra 9. Let's go to First King, is it 11? This is First Kings chapter 11, verse 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women. Bear with me real 1 second. I just remember the scriptures in the book of Nehemiah that was very good as this topic. Where is that scripture at? It's in the book of Nehemiah. Yeah, I found it. This is First Kings chapter 11, verse 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Amorites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. So King Solomon had a lot of women. It says, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. Surely they would turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So he clave unto these in love, man. It says, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his power, as with the heart of David his son. It's like the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Amorites. Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and went not fully after Yahweh as David his father. So let's see, concubinage. It says state of being a concubine, act or practice of cohabiting in intimacy without legal marriage. It says that in ancient Roman law, a permanent cohabitation between persons to whose marriage there were no legal obstacles. It says it was distinguished from marriage proper by the absence of marital affection. That is the intention of founding a family, as no forms which prescribed in the later times, either from legal marriage or concubinage. Let's see. Oh, that's a good point. Hold on, sir. Let's see. This is the question whether the parties intended to enter into the former or into the latter relation was often one of fact to be determined from the surrounding circumstances, and especially with reference to greater or less difference of rank between them. So there was a different rank. Cohabitation without being legally married. A concubine, a paramour, a woman who cohabits with a man without being married to him. A wife of inferior condition, a secondary wife, one who lives unmarried with a married man or woman. Usually the concubine was of a lower social order, but the institution, though below, was matrimonium, was less reproachful than adulterium or stuparum. The word itself is from concubre, to lie with, to lie together, to cohabit. So as it says, it says usually the concubine was of a low social order. So she don't supposed to be, a concubine is not on the same level as your wife. Sometimes used as a man who cohabits with a woman without marriage. So there you go. Let's look at that word paramour. Paramour, a lover or wooer of. I'm not gonna even read that. A strong love, passionately with strong love or desire. Par amar. Amar means to love. Amar to love. A mistress, a concubine. I'm just trying to get a keyword. It's a polymorph, a woman's lover, a woman who cohabits with an important man, and that's what we're gonna be in the kingdom, man. We're gonna have concubines. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11. I believe verse 7. It says, "Then did Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. And Yahweh was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from Yahweh, God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice." So let's go to the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter, what chapter is it? 13 and 23. This is Nehemiah 13 and 23. It says, "In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people." So this is something that goes on today. You might have a say for instance, you have you meet a Israelite man meets a Vietnamese woman, and they have a child, and that child ultimately grows up speaking ultimately his mother's language, because the woman is the nurturers. They're the one that actually raised the kids. They are basically in charge of the kids, man. So it's by default that child growing up with the mother knows the mother's language and not the father's ultimately language. If we spoke actual Hebrew and we had a child with a Moabite woman, and the Moabite child, it's like the Jake, well, he is the child is a Jake, but he grows up speaking his mother's language. That goes on to this very day, man. So let's read that again. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 24. It says, "And their children spake in the speech of Ashdod, and not spake in the Jews' language." So they didn't speak Hebrew. They were speaking their mother's language, but according to the language of each people. "And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by Yahweh, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. But did not King Solomon, did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his power, and the Most High made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin," which is who? The heathen women, the heathenistic women, the strange women, the strange wives that he had, because he had many of them, man. It says, "Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to trespass against our power, and marrying strange wives?" And one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Elisha, the high priest, was son-in-law to Shabalat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my power, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites of the Levites. Thus cleansed I them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, everyone in his business, and for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, on my power, for good. So our people was mixing and mingling with the heathens, man. Mixing and mingling with the heathens does not bring forth nothing good, man. So it shows you how mixing with the heathens can cause a lot of confusion, man. Ezra chapter 9. Let's go back. Ezra chapter 9. I'm gonna read verse 7 again. It says, since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass against unto this day. And for our iniquities we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. So, because you got Israelites throughout all heathen nations, man. They don't know that they're Israelites, but they have the spirit of an Israelite. But they speak the language of wherever they at, whatever people they're part of. If they're a Moabite, they're gonna speak Moabite language. If they're Ammon, which is a so-called Japanese, they're gonna speak their language. They're amongst the Hamites in Africa, they're gonna speak those languages. They over there in Russia, they're gonna speak Russian. They in let's see, wherever they at, where the point has been proven, North Korea, South Korea, the Philippines, they're gonna speak those languages. And you got a lot of our people over in the Philippines, a lot of Israelites in the Philippines, man. And they speak that tongue. Ezra chapter 9, verse 8, it says, and now for a little space grace hath been shewed from Yahweh our power, to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our power may enlighten our eyes, and give us a little revival in our bondage. For we are bondmen, yet our power hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a revival, and to set up the house of our power, and repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem. And now our power, and now, O our power, what shall we say after this? For we have forsaken thy commandments, which thou hast commanded by thy servants the prophets, saying, the land unto which ye go to possess it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the lands, which is talking about the heathens, with their abominations which have filled in it from one end to the other, with their uncleanness. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace, nor their wealth forever. Right, basically completely detached from these heathens, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. And after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that our power has punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and has given us such deliverance as this, shall we again break thy commandments and join in infamy with the people of these abominations? Let's look up that word, infamy. Related by marriage. Ooh, that's a cut, man. Relationship, kinship, neighborhood, vicinity. Relationship by marriage. Kin by marriage. Adjoining, adjacent. Because that goes back to what? Marrying the heathens. It says meaning natural liking or attraction. A relationship as close as family between persons not related by blood. Okay, affinity. Affinity. The attraction between no. Kinship by marriage or adoption, not a blood relationship. That's the key. It's not a blood relationship. That means they're not of the seed of Israel. They're heathens. Because, don't get me wrong, man, them heathen women, Some of them heathen women, the Moabite, Ammonite, these heathen women, they look good, man. They look good. They look good. They look damn good, man. Ezra chapter 9. Let's read that again, verse 14. It says, Shall we again break thy commandments and join in with affinity with the people of these abominations? Right, that means marriage. Would not thou be angry with us till thou hast assumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping? O Yahweh, God of Israel, thou art righteous, for we will remain yet escaped as it is this day. Behold, we are before thee in our trespasses, for we cannot stand before thee because of this. So that's because with heathens comes sins, and what makes it so even worse? What makes it worse is because naturally these heathens that Jake was joining to, we was under the captivity of the heathens, man. We was under them. We was under heathenistic nations. When we was in captivity, that's when Jake does that shit the most. Mixing and mingling with the heathens, man. So when Jacob gets taken off and carried off into captivity, that is when a lot of our people start mixing with the heathens, man. And even before that, but that's when it happens a lot, man. Because the influence in the earth is controlled by the wicked. Like what the scripture says, as the leader of the people. Let me keep that real quick. So if the leaders are the heathens, they're going to push forward that wicked vibration. Sirach chapter 10, verse 1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So that's very clear. So if the ruler of a city is a heathenistic nation, and they're pushing, heathenistic things, our people are going to follow that influence. They're not going to stay upon Israel. They're going to venture off and, get set into that trap that the Lord ultimately set up for them, which is falling in love and mixing and mingling with the heathens, man. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 424. It says, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Kanath and from Avah and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. Right, these are all heathen nations that the king of Assyria brung and put up in our land. Verse 25, and so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not Yahweh. Therefore Yahweh sent lions among them, and which slew some of them. So the Lord sent lions among these fucking heathens in his holy land, which they didn't fear him. And that means they was worshiping their gods and setting up all these abominations in our land. Verse 26, it says, wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore hath he sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let them teach them the manner of the God of the land. Right. Teaching the heathens our ways. Verse 28. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear Yahweh. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places, which the Samaritans had made. Every nation in their city wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Naragal, and the men of Hamath made Ashma, and the Evites made Nabahaz and Tarkak, and the Sepharavites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of the Sepharivim. So they feared Yahweh and made unto themselves so they fear Yahweh and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrifice for them in the houses of the high places. They feared Yahweh and served their own gods, and after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. Unto this day they do after the former manners, for Yahweh they fear not Yahweh, neither do they after their statutes, nor after their ordinances, nor after the law and commandments which Yahweh commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. So these are heathens, man. These are heathens. That's not in them to do what Jacob's supposed to do, man. That covenant wasn't made with them. They're at the end of the day, they're still gonna be heathens. They're still gonna follow their laws. They're still gonna worship other gods, man. They don't fear the Lord. Verse 35, it says, with whom Yahweh had made a covenant and charged them, saying, ye shall fear other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm, him shall ye fear, and him shall ye worship, and to him shall ye do sacrifice. And the statutes and the ordinances and the laws and the commandments which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do forevermore, and ye shall not fear other gods. Right? Because these heathens, they don't know Yahweh by Shemel Shah, man. Neither do they reverence him. They don't care about him, man. As I showed you in the first scripture. Even if the Lord sent lions among them, it still did not stop them from doing what they was doing. They still didn't fear the Lord. Even after the priest came over there and was trying to teach them, man, they still didn't fear the Lord, man. They still was doing their own damn thing. Verse 39, it says, because they heathens. It's not in them to do it, man. But Yahweh, our power, you shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of your enemies. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after the former manner. So these nations fear Yahweh and serve their graven images, neither both their children and their children's children, as their fathers did, so do they unto this day. So there's a clear difference between Jacob and the heathens, man. Jacob has that zeal for the Lord, man. Just look up that word zeal, because that's what Jacob has. It says passionate, adore in pursuit of an objective or a course of action. Zeal. You see, eager rivalry, a noble passion. To seek, request, desire, devotion. Zeal, a feeling of strong eagerness, usually in favor of a person or cause. Excessive, so we have that strong eagerness to follow after Yahweh by Shemel Shah. Certain people have that, man. But the heathens, they don't have that zeal. It's not in them to be righteous. It's in Jacob. Hold on, let me see. I thought it was something. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as Yahweh by my power commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whether ye go to possess. Keep therefore and do them, for this shall be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Right? What makes us different from the nations? The law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. The understanding, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. It makes us different. It makes us way different from the heathens, man. It sets us apart, makes us different. It makes us better. It says, which shall shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath God, who hath the Most High, so not unto them as how our power is in all things that we may call upon him for. So um well, I believe the point is really proven on this lesson. Let's get some real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 1. It says, when Yahweh thy power shall bring thee unto the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Gerasites and the Ammonites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter thou shalt take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than many people. For you were the fewest of all the people. Because Yahweh had loved you, and because he hath kept the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the house of the king of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Slaki. So we're special to Yahweh by Shemel Shai, and the Lord gave us a strict commandment not to follow after the ways of the heathens, man. And mixing and mingling with the heathens does not bring forth nothing but problems. So it was a better thing to be separated from the heathens. And and it's lucky, and we're going back to our natural state, man. We're going back to not mixing and mingling with the heathens. Hey, the kingdom of heaven, man. We're gonna have concubines of the heathen nations, but it ain't gonna be what's happened in the old days, man. We're not gonna be. Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is gonna be the only God that's gonna be worshipped in the land. Let's see. Let me get a precept. Zechariah chapter 8 verse 23. I'm gonna start at Let me start at I'm gonna start at 21. Zephaniah 8 and 21. It says, and the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us go speedily to pray before Yahweh and seek Yahweh of hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations shall come to seek Yahweh of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before Yahweh. And this is thus said Yahweh of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is with you. So that's what's going to happen in the last days. And it's going to happen in the times that we're living in now. Let's go to the Isaiah chapter 4. No. Is it 2? Yeah. It's Isaiah chapter 2 verse 1. It says, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house, which is the mountain talking about government, shall be established in the top of the mountains, right? Because Israel is going to be the top government on the earth, and shall be established above the hills and above the nation and above the hills, which is talking about lower, smaller governments, and all nations shall flow unto it, and many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go to the mountain of Yahweh, the government of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmal Shah, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and out in the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So these heathens, they're going to have to follow after the law, statutes, commandments. And trust me, they're not going to keep it perfectly. They're going to go off, and we're going to judge them. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to judge them. And shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So there's not going to be any more world wars, man. You know? O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of Yahweh. So with that, man, Lord willing, you brothers edified with this lesson. You know, hey, I believe through the Spirit, you know, the point has been objectively proven as to show you why Jacob, which is Israelites, should not be mixing and mingling with the heathen nations, because it does not bring forth anything but corruption and sins. It basically brings forth iniquity, which is sin upon sin. You know. So with that, man, Lord, you better edify with this lesson through the Spirit, power, Yahweh Shema Shah. I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakaha Kodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Must peace, love, and salutations to the brothers in this work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom. Kum Yasha Allah, wa abba ba, wa abba shalom.